In a world that is constantly screaming for your attention, there's this one skill that's become a modern-day superpower, and that is the art of being unbothered. So today, we're going to dive in and figure out how to master it. Let me ask you something right off the bat. What if most of the things that are stressing you out, like right now, just don't actually deserve your energy? Seriously, just think about that for a second. That worry, that little annoyance, has it really earned the space it's taking up in your head? I mean, we are just bombarded every single day. You've got notifications, opinions, social media comparisons, 1,000 tiny little inconveniences. It is absolutely exhausting. But here's the secret. You don't have to engage with all of it. You can actually choose to just opt out. And you know where all that constant bombardment leads us? Right into our first major hurdle, the overthinking trap. This is the place where our inner peace just quietly vanishes. Think about it. Someone leaves you unseen, and boom, your mind just starts spiraling. Or you post something you're really proud of, and suddenly you're obsessively checking for likes and validation. Maybe one small negative comment from a total stranger just camps out in your head all day long. These are tiny, temporary triggers that we let create these massive, lasting reactions inside of us. And this, right here, is the absolute key. The situations themselves, they're temporary, they're fleeting. They have almost no real long-term impact on your life. But your reaction to them, now that's what shapes your mood, your well-being, and ultimately, your peace of mind. So, if the real trap is our reaction, then how in the world do we change it? Well, we do it by cultivating a totally new approach, the unbothered mindset. Okay, let's be super clear about this. Being unbothered does not mean you're apathetic or that you don't care. It's actually the complete opposite. It's a form of high emotional intelligence. It's about consciously deciding what and who truly deserves your precious care and energy. So here's the fundamental difference. On one side, you're just constantly reacting to everything, giving away your power to situations and people, and you end the day feeling totally drained. But on the other side, you're choosing your focus, you're reclaiming that power, and you're staying centered in your own mindset. It's a huge shift from being reactive to being proactive about your own peace. Okay, this all sounds great in theory, right? But how do we actually do it? Let's get practical and break down 4 methods you can use to take back control. All right, our first method is so simple, but it is profoundly effective. It's called the pause technique, and it's all about creating a little bit of space between a trigger and your reaction. The next time something triggers you, don't just lash out. Just pause. Take one deep breath and ask yourself this one simple question. Will this matter in 5 days, 5 months, or 5 years? I'm telling you, 99% of the time, the answer is a hard no. That pause, that's your secret weapon. That's where you take your power back. Method number 2 is all about radical clarity. It's about separating what you cannot control from what you absolutely can. We burn ourselves out trying to manage things that are totally out of our hands, like what other people think or how they behave. It's an impossible task. The real power comes when you shift your entire focus to what you can control. Your reaction, your mindset, where you put your focus, that's your kingdom. That's where you find your peace. Now, our third method. This one goes a little deeper. It tackles the root of so much of our stress, which is that constant, nagging search for external validation. We're almost conditioned from birth to constantly ask, do they like me? Whether it's a new boss, a first date, or a bunch of online followers. But every single time we ask that question, we're basically just handing over our self-worth to somebody else. So here's the game-changing shift. You gotta turn that question inward. Start asking, do I like this version of myself? Am I proud of how I'm handling this? When you focus on aligning with your own values, the need for everyone else's approval it starts to fade away. Your opinion of you becomes the only one that truly matters. And our final method is all about becoming a strategic guardian of your own energy. You have to remember, not every hill is worth dying on, and not every single battle needs to be fought by you. Before you jump into an argument or dive into a stressful situation, just ask yourself this one critical question. Is this worth my peace? Really think about it. Is winning this point worth sacrificing my inner calm? Sometimes walking away isn't weakness. It is the ultimate act of strength. Now, knowing all these methods is one thing, but actually building that unbothered muscle, that takes daily practice. So here's a simple little workout for your mind. See, these aren't huge, life-altering changes. They're small, consistent actions. Just ignore one tiny annoyance each day. Set specific times to check your phone instead of being a slave to it. At night, reflect on one time you overreacted. And embrace the incredible power of silence. Each one of these is like a small rep at the gym that builds incredible mental resilience over time. So why do we do all of this? What's the end game here? It's really simple: to protect your inner peace at all costs. Look, your daily energy is a finite resource. You only have so much of it. And every single minute you spend on negativity, on drama, on things you can't control, that's a minute that's been stolen from your peace, from your goals, and from your happiness. You are the only one who gets to decide where that precious energy goes. And this really is the main takeaway. Being unbothered isn't some defensive crouch where you're just avoiding life. No, it's an offensive strategy for mastering it. It's about engaging with the world, but on your own terms, with full intention and control. Let this one sink in for a moment. In a world that literally profits from our outrage and our anxiety, your calm is an act of rebellion. That is where your true power lies. So, the next time the world tries to pull you into its chaos, I want you to remember these tools. Stay focused on what really matters, stay calm in your own power, and above all else, stay unbothered.